Right then, pull up a chair, grab a pint, or a cup of tea if you're feeling proper, because today's episode is about Captain James Hind, the one and only gentleman highwayman. That's right, think Robin Hood with better manners, a sharper wardrobe, and a death sentence. Let's dive head first into the chaotic, charming, and morally murky world of a 17th century lad who made robbing coaches look like a bloody art form. Picture it, England, early 1600s. The monarchy's in meltdown mode, everyone's picking sides in the Civil War, and your average countryside road has more stick-up artists than squirrels. It's a rough time to be rich, or even vaguely comfortable. Highway robbery is the crime du jour, kind of like mugging, but make it fashion. And into this swirling mess rides James Hind, our dashing, silver-tongued anti-hero. Born around 1616, with enough noble blood in his veins to qualify for a posh dinner party but not enough cash to pay for the roast, Hind was the kind of guy who could charm the breeches off you while lifting your coin purse. He starts off fighting for the king in the English Civil War. Yep, he's a royalist, sabre in hand, fighting for Charles I, who was not having the best time, let's be honest. After that whole losing the war thing, Hind, like many lads without a pension plan, turns to what he knows best. Bold entrances, smooth exits, and the occasional robbery. Now, here's where Hind starts building the legend. Unlike your run-of-the-mill ruffians who went straight for the throat and didn't care who they robbed, Hind had style. He'd stop your coach, crack a joke, ask about your health, then nick your valuables. Charming, really. This fella once apologised to a lady he robbed for the inconvenience. Another time, he let a poor farmer go with a few coins because, quote, "You need this more than I do." Robin Hood vibes? Definitely. Except Hind wasn't always so altruistic. He just knew good PR when he saw it. By the way, get this. James Hind even robbed Oliver Cromwell's coach. Yep. Cromwell, the Lord Protector himself. Didn't get the big man, mind you. Just his mates. But still, imagine the audacity. That's like robbing the Secret Service limo and leaving a Yelp review after. See, Hind's real superpower wasn't just robbing people, it was marketing. The guy was a 1600s media darling. Pamphlets about his exploits were flying off the presses faster than Cromwell could ban dancing. Songs were sung, plays were staged, and people started calling him the gentleman highwayman. He leaned hard into the role, always dressed well, acted respectful, and kept violence to a minimum. He knew the public loved a rogue with a code, and as long as he stuck it to the parliamentarians now and again, he had half of England cheering him on. But like all flashy careers that involve breaking the law and becoming too famous, it was only a matter of time before the hammer dropped. By 1652, Hind's luck ran dry. He was captured and arrested, not just for robbery, mind you, but for being a royalist. See, under Cromwell's new regime, that wasn't just a bad choice. It was treason. He was charged, convicted, and, brace yourselves, hanged, drawn, and quartered. That's right, the full medieval goodbye. They didn't just kill him, they made a point. Because nothing says, "Don't be a hero," like having your limbs scattered to the four winds. But even in death, the legend lived on. The ballads didn't stop, the pamphlets kept rolling. Hind became a sort of folk hero, like Bonnie and Clyde, but with better diction and a slightly cleaner conscience. All right, time for the pub philosophy. Was James Hind a symbol of resistance, a rebel with a cause? Or was he just another charming crook who knew how to spin a good tale? Let's run it through the core identity lens, yeah? Moral clarity, murky at best. He robbed people. That's bad, but he did it nicely. That's better. Purpose? Kinda. He claimed loyalty to the king and targeted parliament types. Maybe it was ideology. Or maybe he just didn't like Cromwell's haircut. Integrity. For a man who lived by a criminal code, he was consistent, polite, restrained, and never pretended to be a saint. So, partial credit? In the end, Hind was walking the line between rebellion and reputation. His actions challenged the idea that criminals were brutish thugs. He showed that charm, wit, and even a touch of honour could live in the same man who held a pistol to your head. Captain James Hind wasn't a hero, but he wasn't a mindless villain either. He was a product of his time, a time when class was everything. War upended the world, and the road was the last frontier. He turned crime into theatre, robbery into storytelling, and himself into a legend. So next time someone tells you crime doesn't pay, well, it didn't end great for Hind, but it sure made one hell of a story. Stay curious, stay sharp, and stay just sober enough to remember it all. This was just a swig of history, and if it wasn't in your textbook, it bloody well should have been. And before you go, do a brother fav and like, share and subscribe.